Morning. Welcome to our Red Tara study and practice group. I hope everybody's well on this fine Saturday morning. One time I met the father of a good friend of mine, Chim, in Florianopolis, and her father was 93 or 94 years old at the time. And he was so well, like physically and mentally, and just very impressive. And I asked him, I said, what's the secret to getting to an advanced age like that and still be so well? He said, well, there's three things I do. He said, one, I drink a lot of water. And that makes sense. He said, two, I practice gratitude all the time. And I thought, that's very profound. We can all be more grateful for what we have. And the third thing he said, every night before I go to bed, I give up all my problems to God. And I said, God, please take all my problems. Take this burden off of me so that I may sleep well tonight. He said, then tomorrow morning, I know you have to give them back to me, but please give them back with solutions. I thought that was a very interesting prayer. So try tonight, maybe give up all your problems to the Buddha and pray to the Buddha, pray to Guru Rinpoche, pray to Tara. Please take all my problems, take this burden off of me tonight so that I may sleep in peace. And tomorrow morning when you return them, please return them with solutions. So we are in the section on equanimity in Change of Heart. And there's a question and answer section. And the topic was the kindness of our mothers and our fathers. And some of the people here have some doubts about how to use that in their contemplation. So a fictitious name of Ben asks Rinpoche, what if my parents had no intention of giving me a human body or didn't want me in the first place? Rinpoche replies, whether it was their intention or not, you still received a human body. Life in the human realm, though you might eat only one small meal a day, is far better than that in many other realms. For example, in the hungry ghost realm, beings live for thousands of years without even hearing the word food. That kind of deprivation is inconceivable to human beings. When I first came to the United States, I was astonished to hear people say they were angry with their mother. Of course, mothers are ordinary beings with faults and mental poisons, and sometimes they lack parenting skills. But in most cases, a mother's love for her child is incomparable. Our mother may have been demanding, critical, violent, cruel, or completely absent. She may have seemed to be the cause of all of our problems. But if we appreciate her gift of life and try to understand her instead of criticize her, maybe we can more easily forgive her faults. Then another question for Rinpoche. I have noticed that you and other great lamas remain perfectly peaceful even when there are difficult people in the room. How do you develop that kind of equanimity? And Rinpoche replies, such equanimity is possible when we are neither attached to our own interests nor averse to our circumstances. And when we understand that each being we encounter has been our mother, as we develop gratitude for the kindness shown to us by all beings, we begin to see everyone from a different perspective, and the barriers between us begin to dissolve. Then the next question, Rinpoche, I really don't understand emptiness. If everything is empty, why worry about our own or others' actions, or even about social and environmental justice? I guess I don't understand what you mean by absolute truth. Rinpoche replies, the teaching on absolute truth can be a little difficult for Westerners to understand because it is so unfamiliar. I sympathize because we Tibetans, although extremely familiar with the mind, are quite unfamiliar with technology. I remember hearing for the first time about the automobile, or a box mounted on 4 wheels that could transport people very quickly. I was skeptical until at the age of 26 I finally saw one, and I was amazed. When I described it to someone, he said, that's nothing. It told me about a big iron bird with great wings in which many people could fly from place to place. The Western world has emphasized mastery of material things. To someone with a technologically undeveloped society, all of this seems miraculous. To people who for centuries have valued mastery over the mind, it doesn't seem impossible to leave footprints in solid rock or to attain enlightenment. Just as I learned for myself about cars and airplanes, with diligent practice, you will come to see the truth beyond concepts, which now might seem hard to believe. The two truths, relative and absolute, coexist and neither can be ignored. Fire, for example, is impermanent and ultimately nothing more than illusion. If we reduce it to the level of molecules, atoms, and subatomic particles, we will find that the absolute truth of fire is emptiness. Yet, on the level of relative reality, we cannot deny that if we put our hand in the fire, we'll burn it. We cannot ignore our everyday reality, and even though in an absolute sense it is like a dream, through meditation we come to the direct experience of the inseparability of the two truths. In the context of relative truth, the law of karma functions infallibly. Every action has a result, and we must be extremely careful. But while attending to our responsibilities, we must continually remember that ultimately, all experiences, positive or negative, are empty, like a dream. It has no substance, no inherent truth. As long as our experience is that of relative reality, it is important that we create relative benefit. We respond to relative suffering with relative compassion. We use methods to change bad dreams into good dreams, unpleasant experiences into pleasant experiences. Yet, we must not forget that we are not yet awake, and waking up is our goal. It's interesting. Some people say, well, I don't understand how there can be karma if everything's emptiness. But if you contemplate karma and emptiness, you will come to the conclusion that it is actually the fact that everything is empty of a inherent existing self that makes karma even possible. How is that? If everything truly existed, it would be permanent and unchanging. The word karma means action. It has the sense of a dynamic quality. What allows things to be dynamic and be changing and transforming in one situation to another situation is the fact that they're empty of some sort of solid, real, permanent existence. That's what allows this whole flux, this whole flow of reality to occur, is the fact that it's empty. So there's absolutely no contradiction between karma and emptiness. They're one and the same. Of course, karma also is empty of some kind of inherent solid existence. You can't put karma in a bottle and study it or put it under a microscope. But yet, it manifests, it appears, and is constantly affecting the interdependence between phenomena. And it's exactly the interdependent arising of phenomenon that is allowed because phenomena is empty of some sort of truly existing essence. So it's a very subtle concept, but try to contemplate on that until it becomes clearer and clearer, and you'll see there's no contradiction between emptiness and the law of cause and effect. So let's go ahead and go to our Tara practice. The more that we do our meditation practices, also the clearer these concepts become to us. I have a friend who, for many, many years, has been having a hard time realizing emptiness, and he's gotten very frustrated at times because he's a very diligent practitioner, and he also helps the Dharma very much with making tormas and cleaning and events and activities for many years, but yet he's not had this experience of the direct experience of understanding emptiness. And I tried to tell him on many occasions, you're making it too complicated. It's more simple. This person was taking a very intellectual approach. But during this whole time, they were always doing their practice, always studying, always hearing teachings, always helping the Dharma with their volunteer activity. Then not so long ago, they went and received teachings from a great Tibetan master, and everything clicked. Everything all of a sudden made sense. Everything became clear. They completely understood emptiness. They attained a level of meditative realization. I could see it in their eyes. I could see it in the way their whole semblance of their face changed. And it's not because the teacher was so powerful, or it's not because this friend of mine is such a great meditator. It's an interdependence of all those things coming together, plus the very important factor that this person was making merit during all these years, never gave up, creating merit, generating positive energy. Merit is what gives us the opportunity to make jumps in our meditation practice. If we just sit and just meditate, it's just not enough. We need to have the merit to have deeper understanding, to have breakthroughs, to penetrate through the denseness of our selfish minds. If I were to say that there's one flaw in Buddhism in the West, it's that we Western practitioners have not yet come to understand the vital importance of merit. If you look at practitioners in Tibet and Nepal and Bhutan and just ordinary citizens, you'll see that a large part of their day is involved in generating merit. They understand the importance